And we're off.
Yep.
Good evening and welcome to the 15 Red podcast with me, Graham Drayton, live here from Burton-on-Trent. It's just gone 7:15. We've had a few technical issues tonight, so we've started a little bit later. Should have started at 6, but Mike was on his bike. See, he wasn't on his bike, he was on his hike, and it rhymes with Mike. See what I did there? Mike, good morning to you. How are you?
Fantastic. You?
Yeah,
Good.
did you enjoy your walk?
Always, yes. Beautiful weather out here today.
Yeah, good stuff. It's beautiful here too. And I trust that it's beautiful weather in Northern Ireland as well, Scott. Good evening.
Good evening, Graham. Actually, it's a very significant day for weather in Northern Ireland because our weatherman on our local TV station is retiring after 24 years.
Okay.
So,
I bet
so
you got a stat about that.
So he's basically been telling us all it's going to rain for the last 25 years, but no, the weather's decent today, and we're to have a good few days before Easter, so that's good.
Absolutely. So last night, guys, before we go into yesterday's episode, of course, have we got any news items to broadcast today? Have we seen anything around?
Well, the Championship League, and Mike, have you got the scores up there?
Yeah, I've got the scores here from the results that are done. We got Joe Perry winning 3-1 over McGill. Jan beating David Gilbert 3-1. Is this today? Hold on a second there, fellas. Sorry, Mark Williams beats Joe Perry 3-2.
Yep.
Neil Robertson, or David Gilbert beats Neil Robertson 3-2. Jan wins 3-1 over Mark Williams. David Gilbert 3-0 over Kurt Mafflin. Anthony McGill 3-1 over Neil Robertson. And Joe Perry and Kurt Mafflin are 2-2 still playing.
Yeah. How does that leave the table? Do you know?
I don't have the table in front of me. I can give me a moment, and I'll bring that up.
Yeah. Is that's the playoff table, isn't it, Scott?
Yeah.
Well, we want the group table and the playoff players.
That's right. Yeah. So what do you make of this tournament so far? What have you made of it?
Well, the Championship League often provides a good bit of match practice, particularly before big tournaments like the World Championship that's coming up, of course, and it'll be good for the lower ranked players to get some match practice.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
And of course, in the last few days, the Championship League has provided a fair bit of movement on the centuries list because yesterday, Jan Mingtao made his 100th career century, and today Neil Robertson made 2 centuries, meaning that he's now equaled Stephen Hendry's record of 776.
Oh, wow. Then that takes some doing, doesn't it? That really is some going, to be honest.
So did you want the standings, Scott? Is that what you were asking?
Yes, the standings, and who's the 4 players in the playoffs? Who's the top 4?
Okay, so I got Jan Bintel 5-0, Mark Williams 2nd place 4-2, David Gilbert 3rd place 4-2, and then McGill he's 3-2 in 4th place. Joe Perry, Robertson, and Kurt Mafflin look like mathematically they can't do anything. They can't catch them.
No. And then anybody confirmed in the playoffs yet? Did you scroll down a bit?
No, nothing.
No.
Nothing. I just see there's a couple of matches. Jan Bintel, Anthony McGill, Joe Perry, and Kurt Mafflin, which actually is finished. Joe Perry won. Joe Perry beat Kurt Mafflin 3-2, and Jan beat Anthony McGill 3-1.
So the top 4 in the playoffs then, just to confirm?
Correct. Top 4, Jan, Mark Williams, David Gilbert, and Anthony McGill.
Yeah. So they play 2 semi-finals. The two winners play a final, and the winner of the final wins the group.
Correct.
And then winners group over the next 2 days then.
Correct.
I've got a feeling that Jan might beat Williams.
Yeah, especially over a short format.
Yeah. I've got a slight feeling there, and I think it was it best of 5, so he might beat him like 3-2 or 3-1.
Yeah.
That's a. Do you think that, Mike, as well? Do you think Jan will do it?
Yeah, I like Jan. I think he's a good player. He's had a good season. I was surprised that Liam wasn't so high on him as I was. When we were talking the other day on Sunday, Liam Highfield just wasn't so high on Jan Bintao, but I think he's pretty good. Good player.
Yeah, from what I've heard about him.
Kelly Barker's just commented with a bit of clarity, as Kelly always brings a bit of clarity to these things. Perry is through to the playoff with that win, and McGill is out, they were saying on commentary.
Oh, okay, because they haven't updated this page yet. I've got the Bet Victor Championship League snooker page, and they haven't updated it then.
No, but
they had it still going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But we're going to transport ourselves into the time machine once again.
Yeah. We certainly are now. Yeah, last night, fellas, you did a great job reviewing the finals from 1977, the World Finals, to 1982.
Yeah.
And there were some crackers in there. What's your personal favourite of them finals, Scott?
Biased maybe, but 1982.
Yeah, I'm at 1982 as well. Ray Reardon and Higgins. That was a great fight.
Yeah. I
would
would say, well, probably when Cliff won it. Probably 1980. His first ever trophy. He's only won. And as we're going to discover in our next section, he got into another final. But before we go over there, let's transport ourselves back using a bit of music.
Oh, yes.
Obviously, the Doctor Who theme from 1980, between 1980 and 1985.
All right.
That's what it sounded like. Can you hear that, guy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a little bit of Doctor Who there, obviously not.
Dan Coyam has just commented there.
Obviously.
Apparently, Ronnie has some news for us on Tuesday afternoon.
I'll just turn that off, sorry. There you go.
I posted that on our page about Ronnie's going to have a Facebook Live event at 3 o'clock on April the 5th or something? 6th?
April 6th.
Yeah, April
yeah,
6th.
And we still can't work out why, but we don't know why.
But let's transport ourselves back to 1983 then.
Yeah, let's go back to 1983. And the number one song around that time, in 1983, around the start of the World Championship.
Yes.
And my computer decided to crash right at the right moment, which is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
This is live, by the way, just to let you know. This is what happens on live television.
Well, live broadcasting. We're
It's
not quite on telly yet.
It's all right. It's all right. I'm using my laptop. Oh, it worked. It worked. Don't worry. I think it's working now.
Okay.
Go on, you book and play. Feels like I'm back on the radio. It's quite weird, actually.
Yeah. While Graham is getting his music in order,
Yes.
I'll give you the route of the two players that competed in that final.
Yes, please, Scott. Thank you.
That was Davison Thorburn.
It was indeed.
And you're going to read out Cliff's route to the final.
Right then. And by the way, we mentioned last week or yesterday, we mentioned the Crucible Curse, of course.
Yeah.
And Alex lost to Steve in the semis.
Yes, she did. 16-5.
It was. But Thorburn drew it.
Yep.
John Campbell of Australia.
Okay. 10-5.
10-5, correct.
Yeah.
Terry Griffiths, 13-12. Very well known.
Yes.
Maximum break in frame 4.
Correct. Yeah.
And
Fellow
then
Canadian Kirk Stevens.
Yes, fellow Canadian Kirk Stevens 13-12 in the semis,
Yep.
and then 16-15 against Knowles in the semis. Cliff had so 3 final frame deciders on the trot. No wonder he lost 18-6. He was probably tired out.
Yeah.
He probably was. 1983. Yeah, carry on, Scott. Sorry.
So-
Steve's route then.
Yeah.
Find this. Rex Williams 10-4.
Yep.
Second round was
Taylor.
Taylor. Yeah.
Dennis Taylor
13.
13-11.
Now then, just before you go any further, Scott, isn't that interesting how they met in the second round of that tournament? And I
Yes.
think they met in the 84 one as well, but we'll get there in a second.
We will indeed. And then the quarter-final for Davis was
Yep.
Eddie Charlton,
Oh, yeah.
13-5.
Wow.
Absolute drumming.
Yeah. And then
And
the match.
then
earlier.
16-5 against Alex in the semis, as we mentioned, and then won the final 18-6 on a re-spotted black in the final frame.
I think that's the only time a clinching match for the tournament there has been done on a respot.
Yeah.
And this was the #1 song, by the way, when that championship was going on. There's even snooker in the video, by the way.
Is that right? David
Yeah.
Bowie's dance?
There's Mr. Bowie. He was #1 around in
Indeed.
1983, believe it or not. It's a great little song, by the way.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
David Bowie.
But of course, we're talking about 83. We've got to talk about Cliff's maximum break.
Yes. Frame 4 against Terry.
I mean,
Yeah.
what a moment.
What a moment. Yeah. And that match
Yeah.
actually finished at 3:15 in the morning, didn't it?
9 minutes to 4 in the morning.
Yeah, that was the same match. It was interesting to know that was the same match. You got that 147 in. We never
It was.
asked Cliff about that when he was on, by the way, guys. We never asked Cliff. Do you remember that finishing at 4:00 in the morning?
Oh,
Apparently, the only person there that is still alive is Clive Everton,
is that right? Oh, yeah.
What,
who was there at the very, very, very bitter end.
The very, very start, yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
from the whole, well, he didn't do the whole of that match, though.
No,
So-
no.
Yeah. So
Who were the commentators on the max?
I'm going to go, well, it was Jack Carnham, sorry, and
Jack Carnham,
I'm going to go Medicroft.
Rex Williams.
Was it? Was it Rex?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. That's interesting.
So Davis winning in 83, he got 30 grand for winning.
Yep.
And the runner-up, which was Cliff, he got 15 grand for
Cool.
run.
Total
And-
prize fund?
Total prize fund, I don't have that here. I only have the first and second place. And the referee was none other than Len Ganley.
It was.
Fellow countryman of mine, of course.
Yeah, Len, and of course Len Ganley was associated with Staffordshire.
Yes, because he lived in your part of the world when he moved over there, didn't he, Graham?
He did, and he also was the doubles champ with, I can't remember the other guy's name, but he was the doubles champ at the Rosleston Club, which is not far away from down us. Yeah, so that was quite an interesting walk down memory lane, Len Ganley. And Len Ganley was the referee when John Virgo did his impression. You know, John Virgo, Ray Reardon had that sort of exhibition match at the Crucible in 1985 or 84, I think.
Yeah. One of the matches had finished early and they pulled John out to do like impressions of players.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but he had a game with Ray Reardon, and Ray Reardon come out with Virgo's beard like attached like sellotape on or something.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a good laugh about it. It was quite good actually.
But let's move on from 83, shall we?
We head to 1984. A very
Yes. Yeah. Do you want to take us through?
And by the way, we're not talking about George Orwell's book there.
Well, the book was better than the final. Let's just say that.
What? What did you say?
The book was better than the final.
The book was better than the final. I'm sure Joel will be very hurt.
So, Scott.
Yeah?
Can you,
Jimmy's Rip, do you want?
That's exactly what I was going to. And can you also tell us the session scores?
Oh, of the final, yes.
The session scores. Good. Thank you.
Right, where's Jimmy then?
Graham.
Ah,
I love
Rex.
what you said. Thank you. Yeah, Scott.
Rex Williams 10-6.
Yep.
Eddie Charlton 13-7.
Okay.
Quarters Cliff Thorburn 13-8.
Okay.
And semis
Captain
Kirk Stevens 16-14.
That was a wonderful match, by the way.
Yeah, you posted that as one of your classics.
You did. You did, Mike.
Yes, I did. Excellent match. So,
And then
Steve's room.
and then lost 18-16 in the final to Steve. Steve's route. Warren King 10-3.
Yeah.
John Spencer 13-5. Terry Griffiths 13-10.
And
Dennis Taylor 16-9, and he won the final 18-16.
So he actually defended his title.
He did.
Champion.
Yeah, Davis. Yeah, yes.
The session scores in the final.
Yes, please. That would be good.
6-1 to Steve after the first.
Yep.
12-4 up overnight.
Okay.
13-11 after the third.
Yep.
And then one at 18-16.
Oh, okay.
So good on Jimmy for making that a better contest. And actually, in that third session, in the first frame, Jimmy made a 119 break, which was the highest break of the entire final. The highest break of that tournament was a 134 by Davis.
Yep, that's all true. And the standard actually was a very good match for standard.
It was.
And the drama and the tension was all there at the end. It got close. Jimmy got within a frame.
Yeah.
By the way, we've had some comments here, guys, just to let you know. Dan Cowham said started with a fluke, that 147. The cliff one. Yeah, that's right. And Michael Hager said it is the slowest ever maximum.
Ah, very good. Never knew that.
Is it? So it's a question. Is it the slowest ever maximum?
I think it must be.
I think it is, yeah.
It took him 18 minutes to get to 100, never mind.
And Kelvin Patton says 84, another great final. Davis was 12-4 up at one point.
Yeah, overnight. I just read that out.
Yeah. That's incredible, isn't it? He absolutely fresh cliff in the previous year. And then coming to Jimmy, it was a bit more closer this year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you probably thought at 12-4 up that, like Jim Thorpe, the referee, he probably thought he was going to have an easy day because he thought 12-4, Steve will do this easy, and then next thing Jimmy comes out and you start playing like a demon.
Did you feel, Mike, because you'd have probably watched that final more than me and Scott, did you feel that was Jimmy was going to do it that year? Did you have a feeling? Or did you find, that it wasn't?
Steve, I think it was pretty obvious that Steve was going to win. He was playing so really well throughout the whole way. Plus, he'd won it the previous year, and he'd won.
Mark Robert Wilcox has just commented there. Jimmy was a ball away from 16-all. If he won that frame, I think he would have won.
Yep, maybe, but yeah, Davis looked to be the stronger of the two.
He was the dominant one.
I would say.
Yeah. But that was bad for Jimmy. That because it was the green, wasn't it? It was that green that he left over the middle.
Yes.
So
by the way, yeah, go on, carry on, Scott.
No, I was just going to say, Steve got 44 grand for winning, and Jimmy got 22 for runner-up. And also, a side note, and I know Scott knows this, Alex Higgins provided some selected commentary matches. Did you know that?
Did he?
Yeah, he did some commentary.
In 84?
Alex Higgins did.
Wow. Okay.
You remember who beat Alex in the first round?
Was that Neil Folds, maybe?
Yeah, I told you that before.
Yeah, I think you did, but yeah. And then he did some selected commentary. Do you remember that?
He commentated on Neil's next match, actually.
Oh, okay.
By the way, one of the most surprising results from that year was Kirk Stevens beating Ray Reardon 13-2.
Yeah.
That was in the...
Yeah, but bear in mind that Ray wasn't quite the same force then as he had been.
No, that's
but still, it's still a bit of a surprise, I thought, especially by that margin.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. I like Ray.
Yeah. He's a great little player. He just got a gentle, gentle.
So, with that,
sorry, guys. I tried to do a Ray Reardon impression and it failed. Anyway, number one at 1984 was this. And it was the year I was born, by the way.
Oh, wow.
I think he was trying to tell me something.
Who is that? Who is that playing? I can't quite hear that.
No, he's frozen.
It's Lionel Richie, hello. I think my mum was trying to tell me something when I was born, you know what I mean? I just say, I'll have a word with her about that later on.
Yeah, maybe the good Lord was trying to tell her something.
Hello. Nice to see you, Mum. Yeah. So,
Michael Hager's just commented there. Ladies player Vera Selby commentated on a lot of Crucible matches in the early 80s. Yes, I remember actually she commentated on part of Jimmy and Alex from 82.
And Reardon and Charlton too. The video I posted, Vera Selby does some of that. I think it's like the second session. Vera Selby's in it.
Yes, but having talked about 1984, we move to arguably the worst and the best final of them all.
The worst of the best.
The worst and the best.
The worst and the best. Okay. Now this is one of my, I've got to say, my picks, obviously, and many other people's picks for reasons like because. Oh dear, just a second. Sorry about that. Copyright, obviously. Yeah, for the reasons of because I was only one at the time, and I think I was in my dad's arms. It was like midnight, and he was holding me in his arms while he was watching the snooker. So yeah, that was pretty good. That was probably my favourite there. And when that final went on between Steve and Jimmy the year before, I'd have been like a month old, so wouldn't have even. Yeah.
And I think I was in 1985, I would have been minus minus 14 I would have been.
How old were you, Mike?
Well, for 1985, I would have been 10.
Right. Okay. And that's
And
one of your first memories, isn't it, of snooker? Isn't it? You said.
84, 85. I was watching and playing and all that. So I remember these quite well.
Yeah. So,
Right.
shall we go with Dennis's route first?
Steve's route. We'll do the runner-up first.
Okay, Steve route. Okay.
Folds 8-10-8.
Okay.
David Taylor 13-4. Griffiths 13-6 in the quarters.
Yep.
And Ray Reardon 16-5.
See, there you go. Ray Reardon the year before 13-2 defeat. This year a 16-5 defeat. He was going.
Oh yes.
He was on the slate. Right, Dennis's route then.
Yep.
Silvino Francisco 10-2.
Your favourite player of all time, this Scott, isn't it? Would you say that, Scott? Dennis is your favourite player of all time?
Good Lord, no.
Well, from Northern Ireland.
Yeah, well, yes. To be fair, out of the ones from Northern Ireland, I picked Dennis over Alex, I think.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway, where was it?
13
Silvino Francisco 10-2.
Yep.
Then in the second round, Eddie Charlton 13-6.
Okay.
Thank God Eddie was beat.
Okay.
In the quarterfinals, Dennis beat Thorburn 13-5.
Yeah.
And in the semis,
Tony Knowles 16.
16-5.
Tony Knowles.
Yep. Tony Knowles actually he shows up in a few semi-finals. It seems like.
Yeah. Michael Hager's just pulled an absolute corker of a stat out of the bag here.
Please.
He said the 85 final holds the record for the greatest deficit successfully overturned at the Crucible. Dennis was 8 frames behind and won the match. In 2003, Ken Doherty was 8 frames behind to Mark Williams in the final. He levelled the match, but ultimately still lost.
Yes.
Yeah. So Dennis had that. That's a great stat from Michael Hager.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, that's a brilliant start.
Yeah.
Right. Session score, Scott, on the final.
Yes.
Well, 7-0.
Yeah.
And then Steve won the first of the evening to go 8-0. And then it went 9-7 overnight. 13-11 to Steve, and then 18-17 to Dennis.
So, in the first session then, obviously, Steve had built up this incredible lead that looked unassailable, didn't it? It looked like Taylor was all over the shop. He wasn't in the match at all. And Davis was just not missing a pot. As Dennis said, Steve wasn't missing a thing.
Yeah.
And Dennis just wanted the Crucible to open up and take him down to the ground, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then he was 7-0. And then in the evening session, Dennis got psyched up for the first frame, lost it 8-0. And then Steve went for the green down the cushion. And this is what they're saying, that particular shot changed the whole final round.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he missed the green. Dennis cleared up.
Because if Steve puts that green,
9-0.
Not only 9-0, but Davis is halfway to victory.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, of course, when he cleared the colours up, that must have spurred him on, giving the one signal. And that must have given him the confidence to get them 6 frames in a row.
Yeah, 9-7 overnight.
6 frames in a row after spending all day sat in your chair. That was an incredible turnaround, really. When you think
I don't mean to be crude, but his backside must have been sore.
Well, you're playing Davis, who's one of the the top players of the world back then, right? And you stay cold. He keeps you in his seat for what, 5 hours in the day or whatever, 6 hours, and you come out and you produce 6 frames in a row. 7 frames in a row. Incredible, really. Absolutely incredible. That was the best part of the match for me when Taylor turned that around.
But that's the bit that never gets shown. How many times have you seen those frames?
I've only seen snippets of them. Like the comeback that he was doing, and Clive was saying, well, if he's going to get back in the match, he's got to do it now. He can't let Davis have that overnight lead of how many frames it would have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the end, it was only 2 frames, and Steve said the wheels come off.
The wheel, yeah, they did, and he said it was a disaster the second day. He said it was an absolute nightmare. 9-7 that came out. Then, of course, Davis took the 13-11 lead, didn't he?
Yeah.
And there you go. The middle part of the game is lost for me because I've never really seen. Well, I have seen it, but a long time ago. The frames where they went from 13-11, 15-12, I think it was 15-13, something like that. I think Dennison was matching Steve, wasn't he, up to that point?
More or less. I've got the individual frame scores here in the almanac, and
if you give us them, Scott, because we're reviewing it, we're going to review it properly, obviously. If you could give us them the second day afternoon session, more or less.
So it went 9-7. It was 9-7 overnight. Then Taylor went 9-8.
He pulled one back.
He did.
Pulled another one back. Okay.
9-8. Then Davis went 10-8.
Yep.
11-8. Then 10, 8, 11, 8. And then Taylor went.
Taylor leveled, didn't he? 11 all.
Yeah,
Yep.
Taylor
Correct.
leveled to 11 all, and then Davis 13-11.
Now then, on that 13-11, I've seen that bit where they played the final black on the 13-11, didn't they?
Yeah.
They had a final black ball, and I think Steve missed it once. Taylor left it over the pocket.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened.
So. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember, what was it, Jim Neddycroft or somebody said he's had 2 bites at the cherry and he's not going to let this one fall, I think. And then Davis potted the black into the bottom right corner, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, and then the next session went to 15 all, didn't it?
It did, yes.
Yeah, that was a good point in the match. I thought Taylor might have spurred on from there, but he didn't.
And then Davis went 17-15, right? He went 17-15, and the sponsors came out, to stand and wait.
Yeah, what time? I wonder what time it was at 17:15, because we know the match finished at 12:20, and the last frame lasted 68 minutes. So that was so they must have started that about what?
10 past 11 it was on the Sunday when the decider started.
Yeah, so when it was 17:15, it must have been about 9:30, 9:45.
Yeah, but as I say, the sponsors came out at 17:15. They basically had written Davis's name on the check.
Yeah. Yeah. And then of course Dennis took 17-16. That was a hard fought frame to win as well, because I think Davis finished snookered behind the blue, going for the brown.
Yeah.
And then of course, no, the green, I think. And then he potted the green. Dennis potted the brown and finished snooker behind the black. Yeah. And he did exactly the same as Davis did on the previous shot. Yeah. Which was quite an incredible thing, because I remember Ted Lowe saying, well, Dennis has done exactly the same.
Yep, indeed.
Yeah. That was a turning point. And he said if he misses this green, or this blue, sorry, it was the blue. Said if he misses the blue, Steve can win. And that was at 17:15.
Yeah.
But Dennis managed to scrape it out. And then 17:16, Davis conceded with just the colours left.
Yep.
And then it went all the way. And that last frame seemed to last forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dennis actually remarked, and he said, Dennis said it lasted about 22 odd minutes, that final frame, he thought. And he was surprised when it was 68 minutes. He said, no way was it 68. But 18.5 million tuned into that final.
Yeah.
Now, bear in mind, there were only 4 channels in those days.
Yeah. So that final frame, 62-44 going into the final 4 colours. Davis led 60. He only needed the brown.
Yeah.
And then Taylor pulled out an incredible brown from the bottom cushion. I still think, that brown is the best pressure pot ever.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. By the angle he had it, down the cushion, it was a little bit off the cushion, but the way he got down and just whacked it in, that was absolutely amazing.
And the blue and pink were really good shots too.
They were tricky, weren't they? Blue and pink were very tricky.
Yeah.
They were indeed.
I think the pink was trickier because the white was close to the cushion.
Yeah.
But
the final frame, the final black.
that's right. And Dennis goes to the World Trophy and prays to it.
Right.
Oh, dear.
Those
This is really unbelievable.
Yes. Well, on that double that he first had on the black, he thought it was in. The crowd thought it was in. It just missed by that much.
The crowd behind the pocket there cheering.
Yeah. And then Steve Davis played the most amazing safety shot ever, didn't he? Under that pressure to double it back up and down the table and leave it safe was just unbelievable.
And then what did Dennis try? He tried a bloody double slash treble.
Treble.
Like a hit.
Don't know what he was thinking there.
No.
He said,
You're trying to win a world championship, not play an exhibition in Belfast.
Well, he said, if it don't go in that pocket, it'll go in the other one. And then obviously it just finished over the middle pocket, just slightly past the middle pocket. And I don't know what Steve was doing on that shot. I don't know if he was trying to cock tap. I don't know if he was just trying to hit the black round the table. I don't know what he was doing, but it went completely wrong.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Dennis plays the shot, leaves the black over the hole. Well, not quite over the hole, but...
I don't know about you, Mike, but I'd have thought Dennis would have potted that long black.
Yeah, you would have thought. And he was off by some margin.
Yeah. The biggest twitch ever at the Crucible.
And I thought Steve would have put that cut back black in as well.
I thought he would have done, to be fair.
All the pressure on those guys, though. It's so easy to say now, but back then...
But he said it wasn't my cue. Do you agree with that? When he said it wasn't my cue, wasn't my arms, wasn't my leg? Do you agree with that? Or is it just an excuse for missing a bad shot?
No, I do agree. There's got to be some pressure on them.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Maybe he's right, because the previous shot he had was terrible. Maybe he's right there.
Yep.
But, that cut back. And Dennis said, how did the white get so far around the table? He said, I've tried that shot many times on my table, and I can't get the white to go round that far.
Yeah,
he said,
if you deliberately try, they recreated that at the 40th anniversary thing for the Crucible, and Dennis potted the black.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. So, but he said he just let the cue rest on his forefinger. He didn't even grip the cue, and he said it was on freeze frame. It was that was like on a still picture when he was.
Yeah.
But it was. Do you know? Funny enough, just to remark on that, if you go back to when he was 8-0 down, and he potted the pink to win that first frame that he won the first frame on. The pink was exactly the same angle as the black he won it on.
So well, a different pocket, I know
Different
that.
pocket, but different ball, but the same shot, the same similar type of shot that he won this first frame, won the actual match on the black, which is another thing I remarked on.
Michael Hager's just put up another comment here. He said, "Do you remember what Steve's line was at the end?
No.
Yeah.
It's all there in black and white."
What? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes. But
And who were the commentators, guys?
Ted Lowe and Jim Meadowcroft, according to Michael.
That's right.
And he's right.
That was really quite unbelievable as Dennis goes over to the World Trophy and prays to it. Yeah.
And who was the ref?
But John Williams.
Indeed.
He did not pray to that trophy.
No, he just kissed the lady on the top.
He kissed it, yeah. And he was like, right, if I'm going for the double and I miss it, I'll lose you. But I'm going to kiss you anyway. That was like a kiss for good luck, I think. But was you thinking, though, Mike, that Davis was definitely, going to pot that black at the end?
Yeah, I figured he was going to make it for sure. But I got a question for Scott. You said when we started this 1985 final, you said that it was the best and the worst.
Worst, yeah. Why would you think that?
Could you expand on why it would be the worst?
Well, the worst standard we've ever seen the world final. There was no century break.
Okay.
How the heck do you get through 35 frames without at least one century? I mean, even in the 1980s.
That's pretty hard to do. I would agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I think the drama.
I mean,
the highest break was
98 in frame. I'll tell you what frame it was in. It was in frame.
Was it 93? Sorry.
98 it was. In frame 8,
I'm just
9,
looking through the session now.
11. 98 in frame 13, I think it was.
8.
I do agree with you, Scott, in the sense that
yes, you're right. By Taylor, 98. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So
let me tell you, Graham, the almanac doesn't lie.
No. I'm not agreeing. I'm not arguing with the almanac. I'm just finding out who it was that did it, and it was Taylor. Sorry, Mike. Carry on.
Carry on, Mike.
Say that I do agree with Scott in the sense that the standard wasn't high, but the drama and the comeback.
Yeah. Look,
that's what made it the comeback.
Yeah, because let's be honest, right? Let's be honest. Yeah, Steve should have won that final 18-7 probably.
Yeah. But do you think basically because he had such a huge lead, was he right that he just fell apart? He was so far in front thinking of winning it, and then suddenly you're looking, it's 9-7, 9-8.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was thinking, oh my God, what have I done?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I've always said about Sheffield. Look, if you give 9-7 in front at the start of the match, he should have taken it, right? But he wouldn't have taken 9-7 up after being 8-0 up.
No, but to be honest, if you go 9-0 up or 8-0 up, you should be winning that final.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. It took him years to get over that.
Well, not really.
Do you remember the rematch they had about it as well?
Yeah, the 25th anniversary one.
Yeah, when he said when he fouled on a shot, and was it Iron Williams said miss,
yes.
And David said there weren't any.
That was a perfectly good shot in 1985.
He said, "Aren't we recreating this properly? Surely the miss rule doesn't apply." But yeah, there were so many safety shots played in that last frame It was just incredible.
Yeah. By the way, do you remember what Davis said when they played the black in that recreation?
Yeah, he potted it, and then Dennis missed it, and he said, "This is the bit you didn't see."
Yeah. but Steve sounded like a preacher when he said, and so it came to pass that the match ended up on the black.
He said, well, the black ball was about here, and the white was like.
Oh, goodness. But having talked about 1985, we move to 1986.
And just before we move off from 1985, of course, the number one song was this.
What the heck is that rubbish?
It is.
It's
We Are the World.
there we go.
Bruce Springsteen singing on that, by the way, but it's like a various artist thing. So that was number one in 1985.
Yeah.
USA for Africa. There you go. Sorry, just had to.
Moving on.
Yes, swiftly.
86.
After that rather embarrassing episode.
Okay, 1986.
Davis's route then.
I was 2, by the way.
This is my personal favourite as well.
This is your personal favourite. I'm just going to, while you go through the route, I'm just going to turn my light on. It's getting a bit dark.
So,
Righto, good man.
you want me to read out the route, Scott?
No, I'll do it.
Okay, Scott, Steve's first then.
Righto, Steve then.
We always have to do the Steve Davis, don't we? Interesting Steve.
It shows you,
seriously interesting Steve.
it shows you,
I'm not going to express my thoughts on Steve Davis, by the way. Just
it shows you how devastatingly good he was in the 80s, though. Like,
oh god, yeah. He was tremendous. He really
there we go. Ray Edmonds 10-4.
okay.
Ray Edmonds 10-4. Then
Edmonds,
Doug Mountjoy 13-5.
Yep.
Jimmy White 13-5.
Yep.
And Cliff Thorburn 16-12.
Okay.
wow, just going back there, Scott. Ray Edmonds was in that tournament?
He was.
Wow. The man from Grimsby, of course.
Yep.
Who made his debut 2 years prior.
And he was commentating on the Masters 98 final as well.
Yeah.
He was.
He was.
But, right, where's Joe then?
Joe?
Yep.
Joe Johnson, of course, yeah.
Yes. Dave Martin 10-3.
Yep.
Mike Hallett 13-6.
Yep.
Poor old Mike.
Oh, yeah.
Terry Griffith 13-12.
Yep.
That was a great one, of course, because he was 12-9 down.
Yep. Correct.
Semi-finals, Tony Knowles 16-5 or 16-8, sorry, and then won 18-12 in the final against Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Session scores.
Yep.
Johnson led 4-3.
Yep.
After the first, they were 8-all overnight. 13-11 Davis, 13-11 Johnson rather, and then Johnson won 18-12.
Wow.
That final, the Joe Johnson, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I think Steve was still on the downer there from the previous year, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he possibly lost. But full credit, taking nothing away from Joe Johnson. What a fantastic performance by him. The shoe, of course, Mike, we've discovered the other day.
Yes, absolutely. He was the shoe.
To get through Steve, he said he didn't. He actually said, I didn't stand a chance against him. Not a chance.
Well, I mean, he was 151 to win it at the start of the tournament.
150 to 1, that was.
He didn't make a century in the final.
No.
Davis made all 3 centuries. and yet he won 18-12.
He did.
This is one of
Now-
the great runs of snooker.
Significant margin as well, 18-12, isn't it?
Yeah.
6 frames win.
Yeah,
Against the dominant player of the era.
yeah, exactly.
Well, now, that is an incredible run. Would you put that down in them days? Would you put that down as the same as Jordan Brown today, that result?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No,
And Terry
no,
Griffith in
no,
79.
no. Let's just put a bit of differentiation between the two. Joe was the 16th seed.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yes.
Don't forget, Joe was the 16th seed, but he'd never won a match.
What,
Wow.
before the Crucible?
He'd never won a match at the Crucible.
Oh, at the Crucible. Ah, yeah. Okay, wow.
Yeah.
So,
So,
sorry.
that, yeah, your personal favourite, Mike, you were saying it's your personal favourite. Why?
Because he was such an outsider, like such a long shot to win it, and he beat such a dominant player. Like, it was so stunning. Like,
Was.
there's no comparison. You know what I'm saying? So,
Is it-
but for his win, Joe got 70 grand, and Steve got 42 grand. And Scott, the referee, was John Street.
John Street?
Yeah. Who
Yeah.
was the referee when Ronnie and Steve had the streaker in 1997?
He was. And I remember Ronnie putting his hand over his eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
Great run.
Is that a personal favourite of yours, Scott?
Yes. It may be because I like Joe's commentary on Eurosport, but I do.
Would you class that as well? Okay, then it's the same as Terry Griffith. When he
Yeah.
won it? Yeah.
No, not quite, because remember, Joe was in the top 16 at the time.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, but I'm talking about as qualification to the Crucible and winning it. That was Terry Griffiths did that. Joe Johnson did that.
No, well, Joe didn't have to qualify because he was 16th.
He was 16.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. But he was the big outshot outsider as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, 150, 200, 150s to 1, he said. Something like that.
150 to 1 he was.
Wow.
Uh,
Incredible. Just incredible, guys. Incredible.
and
Yeah,
then they got,
superb rope. And of course, the big match that everybody took notice of him was the quarter-final against Griffiths, 12-9 down. And I think he made 2 centuries in the
Yes.
last 4 frames.
He did. The way he beat Terry that year, he was on the verge of going out.
Yeah.
And
He had breaks of 102 and 110.
yep.
yeah, that must have took some doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow,
Absolutely.
because Terry, the previous round, beat Alex Higgins 13-12.
He did. Again,
13-12. Terry beat Alex 13-12.
the almanac records that as well.
But
That's incredible. Yeah, Calvin says definitely the biggest shock, 86.
oh yeah.
I just hope we can still be friends, said Joe to Steve afterwards, apparently.
Can I ask Michael Hager something?
I was surprised Joe dominant final 150 to 1 outside to win the tournament. Yeah, Tony Knowles reached 3 semi-finals in 4 years between 1983 and 86, as good as anywhere bar Davis during snooker's mid-80s heyday.
And
Yeah,
Tony Knowles beat Steve 10-1 in a first round match.
he did. He did 1982.
82 that was.
And Knowlesy had a night out in the club and he didn't get to bed till 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Well, having talked about 86, let's move to the rematch.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, in 1986, by the way, this was number 1.
Can you
What's
sing?
that?
Yeah.
George Michael, A Different Corner.
Oh, okay. All right.
It was number 1 in 1986.
Music's getting slightly better. Slightly better.
Wait till the next one. Right, 1987. The rematch, of course. But first, their roots.
Yep, the Roots.
Right. Joe's route, first of all, because he finished runner-up.
Yep.
10-9 against Eugene Hughes.
Okay.
13-7 against Murdo McLeod.
Yep.
13-12 against a young Stephen Hendry.
Great match. Very good
Yeah.
match.
16-9 against my second favourite commentator.
Neil Folds.
Correct.
Oldsey, yeah. Mike's reaction.
Yeah, that was your guess.
He's
And then in the final he lost, well, 18-14.
Yeah. But what about Steve's ride?
Steve's route, let's see, where is he? Where did he start? Oh, let's see.
Warren King.
Warren King, yes. Warren King 10-7. Ray Reardon 13-4.
Yep.
Terry Griffith 13-5.
Yep.
Jimmy White 16-11 and 118-14.
Not bad.
Session scores.
Yep.
5-4 4-3 Joe Johnson.
Yep.
4-3 Joe Johnson. 9-7 Steve Davis overnight.
Yep.
14-10 in after the third, and 18-14 he won it.
Oh, okay. Not bad at all.
yeah, I suppose that's not a favourite then, Mike, because Joe got beat. No, but again, incredible the way he made it to the final. That he could have been one of the ones actually that outdone the Crucible Curse, Joe. He could have.
Yes,
done
he officially got closest.
He did.
Yeah, yeah, very good.
Who else did in 19? Was it 1998?
Yes, Ken, but
Yeah.
Ken only won 12 frames.
Yeah, but we're not on about that final yet. But I know, but yeah, but that's the other guy that did it.
By the way, here's the Kelly Barker. I'm going to ask Kelly Barker specifically this question.
Okay.
What stack does this 87 final represent?
Oh, I know
Like,
this.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if she comes up with it.
Steve made the highest break of the tournament in frame 1 of the final at 127.
Wow.
Yes. Which actually is the lowest, highest break
Correct. Yep.
in World Championship history.
By the way, and what was significant about the 1987 World Championships in total, in general? What was significant?
They had a blue set.
The blue set. You're right. Yep.
Also,
The only year to do that up until Betfred took it over, of course.
Yeah.
also the highest break was actually made in qualifying too at 132 by Dean O'Kane.
Yeah, Kelly's got it right. Only time the top 2 seeds met in the final.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Good, Kelly.
No, Kelly said, I think because it's a live broadcast, we don't get to hear the music.
Fair enough.
So
Graham
she
can
said,
sing for us.
you'll have to tell us the songs or sing them.
Yeah. Graham can sing.
Mike can sing them.
No.
But yeah, Joe did well to get to the final again, said Calvin, which he did, didn't he? After that, after the year he won it, he must have been on a high though to get to the finals the year after.
Yeah.
Also, Steve trousered 80,000, while
Yeah.
Joe trousered 40.
Yes.
And
Len was the ref?
you got it. Len Ganley was the referee in the final.
Yeah.
So
No.
The top 2 ranked players in the world have never contested a Crucible final after that, apparently.
no.
Well, that's correct. It's correct to say that Joe wasn't the world number 1. He was the number 1 seed. There is a difference there.
He was the
Okay.
number 1 seed. He wasn't world ranked number 1.
No.
Yeah, Steve was still out.
So the top 2 players have never the top 2 ranked 1 and 2 players have never contested a world final. Michael Hager's quite right to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then we move
Uh,
to
well, I'll tell you what the number 1 song was.
Go ahead.
Let It Be
Oh,
by the Ferry Aid Band from Liverpool. There you go.
Stop that.
Is music getting better, Mike? I do like Let It Be, but obviously by the Beatles. But
yeah.
so
Personal preference, I suppose.
yeah. So well, cheers, Scott. Yeah. All right, 1988. We'll move on
Let's
to
get
next.
Steve's back in the final again. He's a guest.
Steve's in the final again, of course. Yes.
What?
So let's have
He's
Terry.
playing the Welshman, Terry Griffiths, this time.
Yeah, so let's have Terry Griffiths' route to the final.
Yes.
Because he got beat, unfortunately.
Yeah. Thank God for that.
Oh, Scott. Seriously.
No disrespect, Terry, but that would have been painful to watch of me, wouldn't
It would have been, wouldn't it? Yeah.
it? Yeah. Where the devil is he?
Scott, did you want me to read it out? I've got it written down.
No, I've got it here. Steve Longworth,
Yeah.
10-1.
Steve Longworth.
Longworth.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve Longworth.
Okay.
Then Willie Thorne, 13-9. Then Foldsy, 13-9.
Yep.
Folsey again.
And then Jimmy White, 16-11.
Wow.
That was a good result for Terry, wasn't it?
That is.
Jeez. That's a great result.
And Steve's carving.
Steve's route. Well, he beat one of his co-commentators,
Did. Correct.
John Virgo, 10-8.
Ah.
And then he beat his personal punching bag, Mike Hallett.
Oh, poor Mike. Come on. Have you got a bit of rope?
Yeah. 13-1 that was.
Nasty. Like you said, Mike, have you got a bit of rope?
Then in the quarters, he beat Tony Drago 13-4.
Yep.
Okay.
Then in the semis, he beat Thorburn 16-9. And then the session scores in the final.
Yep.
5-2 Davis.
Yep.
8 all overnight.
Okay.
14-10 Davis. Davis wins 18-11.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And before we mention anything more about the final, in the second round of that
Yes,
year,
I was just about to get there. You beat me to it.
yeah, so Jimmy White 13, Stephen Hendry 12, which is an incredible deciding frame when Jimmy went for an outstanding long red.
Yeah. Well, that was in the olden days. The BBC used to do a review of the snooker year,
Okay.
Yeah,
like a review of their 4 tournaments, and they devoted that whole program to just showing highlights of that Hendry White match.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what a match it was, though, Scott. That was.
Well, that is an all-time classic.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was a preview to all their lengthy finals that we'll get to in future episodes.
And not only that, but it was a precursor to the type of snooker that we would see in following years. You know, fast attacking, and sure we nearly take that for granted now.
And
Yeah.
Jimmy beat him, which I bet he was glad about. But I bet he was glad about in years to come.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, bear this in mind. Jimmy had already won several ranking events, and this was the last year that it was the first year, in fact, that Stephen was in the top 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Wow. Hendry was almost as fast as Jimmy in '88, says
He
Michael
was.
May. Yeah.
He was.
And Griffiths had a good Crucible record, got to 2 finals, and loads of qualifiers. Yeah.
Update on the Championship League from Kelly Barker just briefly to transport ourselves back into the real world. Mark Williams will play Perry in the playoff final.
So Mark Williams got through Yan Bingtao. What score was that, Mike? Can you get it up? There.
score. Let me just.
Sorry, that was no pun intended, but can you get it up? Sorry, Sorry that was.
Yeah, here we go. You wanted what? The scores? The scores for today?
Mark Williams against Bingtao tonight.
Okay. Let's bring it up.
So obviously, yeah, they were playing in the semi-final. What do you think to that final, Scott? Williams and Perry.
So
Williams probably favourite, given he's just won the Pro Series. He likes the short format.
So
Yeah.
You got Yan beating Anthony McGill 3-1. Perry beats Mafflin 3-2, and then I see Yan versus Joe, Mark Williams versus David Gilbert.
They haven't updated the page yet.
Okay, that's all I can see right now.
Okay.
Well, we'll get those after the episode and post them.
Yeah, there you go. That sounds good.
Well, let's transport ourselves for our final.
To 1988. But number one, by the way, obviously people can't hear this, but for the benefit of us.
Is that Kylie Minogue?
No.
What? Sounds Prince.
Pet Shop Boys, Heart.
Oh, okay.
That was number one in '88. By the Crucible time we're going, by the way, guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Heart by the Pet Shop Boys. So now, 1989, our final for this episode.
Kelly's just put the scores up. Perry beat Yan 3-0 and Williams beat Gilbert 3-1.
Okay.
Okay, right.
And it's also the last final for Steve Davis. Believe it or not.
It is, yeah.
Which is surprising.
Right. Poor old John Parrott's route.
Yep.
Not that he wanted to get there because he got thrashed.
No.
I don't think he wants reminding of this, does he?
No. Hopefully.
Sorry, John, if you're.
Yeah.
Bless
If
him.
you're watching, John, no, we're just stating facts, buddy.
That was an absolute. I know we'll get there in a minute, but that was an absolute hammering, right?
Oh.
That was terrible.
Was that with a session to spare?
It was.
Yeah, we'll get there in a minute. Anyway, sorry to give it away, but
Yeah.
Take Steve's run to the final. He just dominated everybody.
Yeah, we'll get there in a moment. Let me do John justice first, for heaven's sake.
I mean,
he had a good run as well, Parrot, didn't he?
he
did.
He beat
He did. Yeah. Steve James 10-9 in the first round.
Final frame decider.
Yep.
Good grief, he could have gone out then. he probably wishes he had done one up to the final.
Dear me. Steve James, though, what did he go on to do, Scott, after that championship?
He beat Stephen Hendry in the quarters in '91 when Hendry was the defending champion. And he made the Crucible's only 16 red clearance.
Oh, very good.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
We'll get to that when we get to '91, by the way.
Yeah.
oh yes, Parrot Fruit, but
And then
Did
he
he
beat
beat-
Dennis.
then he beat Dennis 13-8.
Okay. Jimmy
No,
White.
13-10. 13-10 it says here.
I got 13-10 as well.
13-10, sorry, I misread that. And then he beat Jimmy White 13-7 in the quarters.
Wow.
And Tony Mio 16-7 in the semis.
Mia.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. Right, shall we go through this domination by Steve? Oh dear.
No, yes.
This is just an onslaught,
This is just absolute crazy talk.
isn't it?
10-5 against Steve Newbury.
Okay.
13-3 against, I think it was Steve Dugan.
Okay.
Quarterfinals 13-3 against, as you call him, his personal punching bag, Mike Hallett.
Oh, leave him alone. Leave him alone. He's done for
And then in the semi-final against Hendry, 16-9.
Wow. 16-9 over Hendry.
And then 18-3 in the final.
Wow.
Yeah. I was going to
Shall
say,
I give you? Shall I give you the
Scott,
session scores? Because there's only 3 of them.
Mike, Scott, sorry. I was going to say, leave Mike alone. He's suffered enough over the years.
Yeah, Mike Hallett. Boy, he got 4
Boy.
frames. Out of 30, like, was it 16?
Oh, don't do it to him.
30 frames, and Davis beats him 26-4.
Yeah, Mike, if you're watching, I'm sorry about these two. I apologise. I'm trying to defend you.
Wow.
That's incredible. Yeah, that is incredible.
Scott's going to read out the 3-session results.
Yes.
Yeah. 5-2.
Yeah.
So pretty close there. But the damage was done in the afternoon. 13-3 it went to overnight.
13-3
I
over.
love the way he said it was pretty close then.
And then he went on to win 18-3.
I know.
So that was, like we say, with a session to spare, wasn't it?
Yeah, and by the way, what record was set? You
I
know
know.
this. I'll ask Kelly this.
Okay, I know this one.
And the referee was John Street.
Indeed
Correct.
it was.
Yeah.
But can Kelly or someone else give us what record was set?
Stephen Hendry had the highest break of the tournament, a 1-4-1.
A 1-4-1, yes.
Are you talking about the final itself?
No, Steve's running the whole
Oh,
tournament.
Steve's run. Okay. Oh, okay.
Steve trousered 105k, 105
Yeah.
grand.
Michael Hager has got it. Was it it was least
Least
frames lost in a year.
Least
Go.
23 he lost.
Wow, that's great. What a run that was. And that's against the players he was playing. Just have a look at the players he played. Steve Newbury, fair enough. Steve Duggan, yeah. Mike Hallett, sorry, Mike. And Stephen Hendry. He only lost 9 frames to Hendry. Wow.
Yeah.
Now bear in mind Hendry would win the thing the next year.
Yeah.
So all of the titles Davis has won, you've got to say this is the most dominating.
Well,
version.
it's the most dominant one, yeah, without a doubt.
I mean, how do you win a world championship losing 23 frames of snooker?
I would say the 87 one was quite good as well because of the way he lost it the year before.
And the year
And
before
year
that.
before that, I think 87 was better than 84, 83, and 81.
Yeah. Well, look, 89's obviously the best because.
As a margin.
Yeah, but.
Yeah.
But you gotta say in terms of. But in terms of the most, some of our comments have put it up as well. the most surprising thing about that was that Davis never even reached another final, never mind one of the
I
games.
know.
I totally agree. That is the
I
one.
totally agree with that. And what was it in the semis in 1992, 93?
94, he got the semis and
Yeah. So yeah, he could have got to the final then, of course.
yeah.
But
But,
yeah, it's very,
but he came up against his nemesis in those days, Hendry.
And then we're going to cover, of course, 1990 in the next show. And I think
Yeah,
we're going
well-
1990 to 1996, are we?
Well, will we do 90 to 99 and cover the whole of Stevens thing?
That's a lot of stuff to cover. That.
No, we'll do 90 to 96 and then.
Yeah, we'll do that, I think.
No, because 96 was the last of Stevens' 5 in a row, so.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So there you go. Steve, of course, 6-time champion in that whole run.
Yeah.
And then you've got Alex, and what you did last night. Alex Higgins won.
Yep.
Joe Johnson won. Dennis Taylor won. Cliff Forbin won. Terry Griffiths won. Got 2 finals, though. And John Spencer won. And
Well,
Ray Reardon.
third
Ray
type.
Reardon won as well, I think. No, I wasn't it Ray that won it?
What's that?
Ray won it in 78, yes.
78. That's right, 78. Yeah. So yeah. So in all them times, gents, Steve Davis, the dominant force,
Yep.
just came from absolute nowhere in 81. Was he in
Until
the
next year.
Was he in 1980? Was he in the 1980 World Championship?
Yes, he beat Griffiths. He inflicted the curse on Griffiths.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Wow.
So Scott, you've got
Yes?
the answer to yesterday's trivia question. So maybe.
Oh yes, I asked, what was the highest break in 1977? And the answer was John Spencer made a 135 in frame 5 of the semi-final against John Pillman.
Okay.
Excellent. So,
And Mike has got a blinding question for us tonight.
Before we get to that question, Mike, this was number 1 in 1989.
oh yes, please. Who was it?
What?
Eternal Flame with the Bangles.
Oh boy.
That was it. That was 89 number 1 when the Crucible. And of course, we can't go far without mentioning this little lot.
Well, that was 86. We forgot about that in there.
Yeah, we got to have.
Yeah. There you go. That's Snooker Loopy, bit Charles and Dave there.
Yeah, in 1986.
Matchroom Mob that Barry Hearn invented. by the
Yeah.
way.
Old Willie Ford, his heirs all gone, his mates all take the rise. His father said, cover up his head because it's shining in
Shining in my
my eyes.
eyes. Maybe I ought to choke it. Yeah. Wow.
Oh, God bless you, Willie.
Yeah.
He wasn't. Who else was on there? Dennis Taylor, Terry Griffiths,
Yeah.
and Steve Davis, of course.
Yep. Gotta
Steve last year come very near to winning the snooker crown, but he never got to put it on his ginger nut because the black ball wouldn't go down.
His manager
His manager and all said,
think that ball.
but it helped him make his mind. He don't care who won this year because he's got the rest of us signed up.
That's right.
And then none of the rest of them didn't win it.
And also Tony Mio was in that as well.
Yeah. London bred where he keeps his head, though he's got Italian roots.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Emotional.
And,
And he keeps his cool till he reaches the final. And whether he wins or whether he don't, I always bite my eyeball.
oh, goodness me.
And what was the line about Dennis? You've got to say it.
Oh, I gotta do it. I Dennis's one start. Oh, I can't. Oh dear. But it is the one that Dennis said was nowadays he pots a lot because I wear these goggles.
No. No, our friend then. That was his
No, that's it.
Down the snooker roll.
Yeah. And his mates seem amazed at what he can do with a snooker ball, but they have long shots he never ever got. Why the old thing boggles? Nowadays he pots a lot.
Because I went his goggles.
Hold on.
Oh my God. I never thought we'd see that. There you go. Scott reveals his glasses off.
He's trying to put them on upside down.
and what was Terry's one?
Apologies for any Welshman watching, because this is rather stereotypical, but Terry's was, now Terry the Taff was born in a gaff in the valleys of the land of song, and as the rains he puts to bed, he likes to sing along. And if I, when he says with a grin, it can only help me candid, I'll celebrate and buy another 8 hairbrushes for me Bernard.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
No, I can't get my glasses on the right way up.
You can't. No. I think that covers, that absolutely covers Snooker Loopy down to a T, doesn't it?
We'll have to put it up on the group after the episode. Oh, dear me.
That is brilliant. The highlight of the show, obviously.
Well done.
And with that, gentlemen, good night.
Mike's in absolute pieces.
Can either of you end the broadcast? Because
Hold on, Scott. Scott, don't end it yet. I've got to give out the trivia question.
Oh yes, you've got an absolute blinder.
Sorry.
Oh dear, thank you, Chaz and Dave.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Okay, now I've recovered. So, name the only player to be a runner-up at the World Championships, World Championship Snooker and World Championship Billiards. So, name the only player to be a runner-up at the World Snooker Championship and World Billiards Championships.
Has he still got his glasses?
Tomorrow.
He's still got his glasses on.
Give me to get the glasses on, will you?
Oh,
I'm doing a Dennis impression.
I think that's.
Right.
I think we're coming to the broadcast.
He needs help putting his glasses on, bless him.
Thanks, Dad.
Wow, that just brings the podcast to a really fantastic ending.
Good job, guys.
Sorry,
That was a
Mike,
great
just repeat your question, sorry.
You want the trivia again?
Yeah, repeat the trivia question.
Right. Serious faces, Doc. Serious faces, Doc, come on.
All right. Name the only player to be the runner-up at the World Snooker Championships and World Billiard Championships.
Okay.
I'll tell you the answer tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay, great. Well, thank you, gentlemen. That was brilliant.
That was class, guys. Well done.
We covered the finals 83 to 89. Tomorrow, we're doing 1990 to 1996. So that'll be excellent.
Yep.
Excellent. Good stuff, guys. That was fun.
Yeah, it was. Cheers, guys. Thank you very much.
See ya. Good night, guys. See you, Scott.
Good night.
Cheers.